but his speech was empty. It was shallow, superficial, and insubstantial. If his speech was a gun, he was firing blanks. It went like this. You can do better. Try harder. You will succeed. Push yourself further. Climb the mountain. Believe in yourself. But when he finished, I was a non-believer.
By the time I have finished my first sentence, you might just notice something different. I've left those days behind. They were so yesterday. And now I talk with a new voice. It's not always fun, to be honest. To me, this is one of the most important parts of my strategy. Every so often, I record into my phone what I sound like. And the first time I did that was into an iPad with my speech therapist, and I could not understand what I'd said 5 minutes earlier. I listened to it and I felt sick. It sounded so bad. I couldn't work out what I said. So I'm better now, or a bit better, but I know how I sound to you, and that helps me not get quite so cross. It stops me wanting to slap people who don't understand me, most of the time at least. I use descriptions and sentences. Here's a word. If I just say it as a word, tell me what the sentence says. Just shout it out, because, as I said before, I can't see your hands. Okay? Betzel. Any ideas?
Pencil.
Retro. I've heard that one quite a lot. No, it's not retro. Century, I love that, but it's not.
Bedroom.
No, not that. One more time. Retro. Petrol. No, it's not petrol. If I now put it in a sentence, tell me what this is. My oldest daughter was married in February this year. Her name is Rachel. Rachel. I was starting to get worried then. So sentences, for me, are essential. I've learnt that the hard way. Self-advertising. I don't mean sandwich boards. Help me, I'm dyslexic. What I mean is, when I meet a stranger, I'll say, "Hi, I don't talk very well. I hope you can understand me." And that sets the tone. You can see them, and then relax as they work out, "Yeah, I've got that." And it helps us both as we move on. When I first got this, I found it very easy to say, doesn't matter, don't bother, move on, when people didn't understand. But now, I won't do that. If someone doesn't understand, I'll say, okay, you and I are going to work at this until you understand what I'm saying. And I'll use my other parts of my practice, sentences, descriptions, volume, gestures, to help them work out what I'm saying. Sometimes I do with that, but most times I push on. I've learned to get over it. I used to take it very personally when someone, a medical person perhaps, couldn't understand me. And I'd get stressed, angry, humiliated and embarrassed. Now I'm learning, just grow up, mate, get over it. And that's not a bad strategy to adopt, I have found. Okay! My volume still works quite well, doesn't it? So what did you come up with? Any ideas? Empathy. And that's a good word. What do you mean by that?
That you try and understand what it's like for both people, so you understand the frustration that the patient may be feeling or trying to communicate with them, but also understand the frustration that, or concerned with frustration that you're feeling and being unable to understand them.
Good. Good answer, thank you.
Not pretending. So don't pretend that you understand and just nod your head and say all the right words if you're not actually getting the message. Because
Yeah.
it's not helpful.
Yeah. Totally with you on that. If you pretend, I will find out quite soon. I might drop something into the conversation that makes you look a bit like an idiot. I might say, so how's the weather in your part of the world? Yeah. So, do you think I'm a complete idiot then? Yeah, that's right. So don't pretend. What else? Okay, I need a bit more volume on that.
Don't interrupt, so give them time to say what they want to say, how they want to say it.
Yeah, good one.
Watch closely for hand gestures and lip reading.
Very good, yeah.
Don't patronise. Just because you can't understand how they're speaking doesn't mean that there's anything like that, any less mentally than you are.
Absolutely. Don't patronise. That means to put down to. Well done. Don't be embarrassed about this issue. I'm not. I have to live with it and work through it every day. So, just say, how can I help communicate with you? How would you like me to assist this communication process? Ask me. And I'll tell you. I won't take 45 minutes, but I'll say things like, listen to the whole sentence, repeat back what the syntax said. That kind of stuff. But please ask. Don't just suffer on and say, I can't raise that issue. Those of us with speech issues are clever enough to know that they have a speech issue. And they have to face up to it. So just face up to it yourself and ask us. Hey, there you go. Just a reminder, I don't cover every perspective. I don't have a complete answer, but this is my perspective, my view, and I think the basics are the same. I work with the Stroke Association. I haven't had a stroke. I don't have aphasia. But I understand now some of their problems. And to listen to me, communicating with someone who has aphasia, is a vast a minute. But not for me, it's such hard work. But I understand quite a bit now. So I think I've given you enough to maybe work out for yourselves how you should deal with people like me and people who are much, much worse.
Let's go to the sea.
So I'm done. I want to thank you for making the effort to listen and respond and interact. And occasionally laugh. Good work. But it's very important to me to do this and to sense that you're listening. And you did that, so thank you very much.